Hey, so I was just checking out Ziggy D's latest video that he released, and I saw something very interesting.
Marks the highest rarity.
If we look in here, we can see that when he finishes this Fate of the Val Ancient Beacon, he gets a level 3 uncut skill gem. And then if we look further along in the video, we see that he finds a Jade Amulet in Tomb of the Consort. Now, why is this important for making currency? First off, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I'm not going to go into the depths of how the league mechanic works. I strongly recommend not doing the league start if you're worried about completing the campaign quickly. If you just want to try it out and have fun, that's up to you. But I would definitely not recommend it from an efficiency point of view. Okay, so how are we going to make a currency with this information? Well, in 0.3 Rise of the Abyssal, the Abysses had guaranteed drops throughout the campaign. And those were identical to the drops that we saw in Ziggy's video. So a level 3 uncut skill gem in the Grim Tangle, and a amulet drop in Tomb of the Consort. Now, in certain zones, there are going to be certain guaranteed drops, in case you didn't know. So like in Cemetery of the Eternals, you can get a guaranteed Reglob by completing the League mechanic. And it looks like it only takes 10 to 15 seconds to complete the League mechanic. So this is basically a free Reglob, free Exalted Orb, and all that good stuff. I've got a full list here of all the rewards that I know about throughout the campaign. I have highlighted in bold and italics the ones that I recommend doing if you find it, so not actively searching for it, just if you come across it, I would do that. So that would be like the Artificer's Orb in the Ogum Village, or the Uncut Skill Gem in the Grim Tangle. And then the ones that I put in underline, I recommend searching for before continuing on to the next zone. Super powerful, like the Regal Orb, Exalted Orb, Orb of Alchemy, and the Mana. All really good stuff. In terms of like how to best make use of this currency, there's a mostly for this like Regal Orb, Exalted Orbs, Orbs of Alchemy. We're going to be going for using that on our level 16 weapon, and then waiting until level 28, level 33, and using it on our high level weapon, which we'll probably use until the end of the campaign. One thing to note is you do get a guaranteed uncut skill gem at level 2 in the Red Veil. If you are playing an elemental damage build, I would recommend taking Frostbomb. That is going to basically increase your damage on bosses by 25%. All you need is one intelligence node if you are not playing an intelligence class. In Act 2, the most important thing to note here is there is a lesser Jeweler's Orb in the Buried Shrines. So we can get a 4 link midway through Act 2. And I also recommend going for like the Exalted Orb in Halani Gates and the Alchemy in Lost City, as well as these other ones if you come across them. One thing to note in Act 2 about this league mechanic is that in the Halani Gates, Asala can get stuck on the bridge. A lot of people fix that by resetting at checkpoint halfway through the zone. If you do this, the league mechanic can change places to be like before the checkpoint, which means you wouldn't get it in the zone. For that reason, I recommend waiting for a Asala at the bridge instead of going to the checkpoint and resetting. There's not too much to note in the rest of the acts, but there is a Greater Jeweler's Orb, so you can get a 5 link in Nakanu. That is definitely probably the biggest one to note. Other than that, there's all these other zones where you can get Exalted Orbs, Orbs of Alchemy, Regal Orbs, all that good stuff. You know, there's even some Chaos Orbs, and there are some zones that have unknown rewards, which were previous Abyss crafting materials in 0.3. We'll have to wait and see what this is. These could be very powerful. I will be updating this cheat sheet as I progress through the league. I'm probably going to be one of the highest level people in the game, so I will be the first or one of the first to figure out if there are any inconsistencies with this list. If I find any inconsistencies, I'll update. But yeah, that's about it from me. Short video. Hope you guys found this useful, and I'll see you later.